Have you ever found yourself extremely frustrated by the fact that you just can't seem to get your man, your boyfriend, your husband to open up emotionally? Maybe it just feels like they are shut down and shut off or just completely disconnected to their heart and their feelings. Maybe you have even bought into the idea or adopted the concept that men just simply aren't as emotional as women and they connect in different ways than we do. Well, in today's video, I'm actually here to share a few tips and tricks on how to get your man to emotionally open up. Because the truth is, we all deeply desire for that level of emotional connection and intimacy with our significant other. I don't know about you, but I've grown up in a world where it's true. We hear the idea that men are just not as emotional as women and that they connect differently and bond differently than women do. Truthfully, I agree. I think we as men and women are distinctly different. Yet, we both have the same need to feel connected and intimate with our significant other, with your wife and husband and boyfriend and girlfriend. We all deeply desire that. But sometimes we can feel a bit confused by how to get our man to open up. It's true, he lives in a world that tells him to be tough, be a man, suck it up. And sometimes it's hard to let down and let go of those ideas and those messages that he's been fed in order to open up and emotionally connect with a woman. But I would argue he deeply desires to do that and to be that for you. I know it might not be the same as sitting down at a coffee shop and if you just talk long enough, somebody's gonna cry like you might with your girlfriends. But I believe that we can create a space as women. We can create a culture and an environment in our relationship with a man to allow for him to feel the ability to open up emotionally. So ladies, my first tip for you is that respect is the gateway to emotional connection. See, a man deeply desires to be respected. He goes about his day paving the way and achieving things, and he wants to know that you are his space. You are the place that will respect him the most. You are his most sacred relationship. You are his closest person. He wants to know that you are a safe space, that no matter what comes his way, that you believe in him. Just like we as women deeply desire to know that we are loved and seen for who we are, men deeply desire to be respected for what they do and who they are for us. If he doesn't experience that level of respect, he will not emotionally open up. You have the ability as a woman to build him up, to make him feel safe and secure and able to open his heart in ways that he wouldn't in any other space. My second tip and insight for you is to create a culture and an environment that rather than critiques, builds up. If a man expects for you to first and foremost acknowledge the areas that he's messed up versus praise the areas that he has succeeded and done well, he will emotionally shut down. He won't want to open up his heart and express what's going on inside because that environment won't feel safe. A man deeply desires to know that you see what he has done for you. See, often women, we deeply desire to be acknowledged for who we are. A man deeply desires to be acknowledged for who he is and what he does. Now, here's the trick. Sometimes creating this culture and environment in your relationship doesn't just happen overnight. It's not like these are magic little tricks that you can just twist and play to get him to just one day crack open and share emotionally with you. These are things that you have to put into practice to begin to build a history so that there's a level of trust in the relationship that creates an environment and a culture for him to be able to emotionally connect with you. My next tip for you is to be consciously aware that you don't throw his past in his face. When he shares things about who he is and what he does and how he's feeling, and if he makes a mistake or does the wrong thing, if in the future you throw that back up in his face to almost prove a point or to show him that, look, I was right all along, that doesn't create an environment where he's going to feel like he can open up again. Because when he opened up last time, it was just thrown in his face. Or when he made a mistake, it was taken so harshly that even in the future, even down the line, it was brought back up and flung back to him. When we forgive in a relationship, it needs to be true forgiveness, meaning that the standard has been restored, that the slate has been wiped clean. If you have worked through, if he has apologized and taken ownership for his wrongs, leave it at that. Make sure that this standard truly has been restored before you forgive him, because you don't want to get yourself into a spot where there's the pain and the hurt and the frustration and the unforgiveness that comes back up and actually creates an environment that isn't safe to emotionally connect. If he is taking ownership and apologizing for the actions or for the areas that he has made a mistake, count it as his word. Treat him so that the standard truly has been restored. Make sure that you are not digging up the past to create an environment that doesn't feel safe to emotionally connect. Now, my last tip for you would be, sometimes it takes leading the way. Now, listen, I'm not saying that as women we have this duty and responsibility to be the emotional leader of the relationship. I think a man plays a pivotal part in creating a safe space for us to be emotionally able to open up as well. But sometimes it takes us being vulnerable about how we're feeling that cracks open an environment and creates a culture for our man to be able to do so as well. Sharing from the deepest places of our heart about how we feel and how we experience him is vital to actually creating a space where he can do the same. Now, I lied. That wasn't my last and final piece of wisdom for you. I think we need to acknowledge the fact that men and women experience emotional connection on a different level. That's true. That is facts. That's science. But the truth is, sometimes in order for us to experience the level of emotional connection that we deeply need as women with our man, with our husband, we actually need to initiate physical and sexual intimacy with our man. Now, I want to make sure you don't hear me saying, if you're not married, to go about and just initiate sex with your boyfriend. Absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm saying in a married relationship, in marriage, often in order for a man to emotionally open up and feel connected with his wife, he needs to experience sexual intimacy with her. Now, I know this can be challenging because as women, we often need to experience emotional connection before we can physically be intimate with our husband. However, sometimes it's taking the first step and being the one to initiate, hey, I see you, I love you, and I am going to show you that creates the space for him to be able to let his guard down and be able to open up emotionally. It's all about setting the tune and the tone and making sure that he knows, no matter what, I love you. No matter what is going on inside, I care for you. I deeply want for you to be okay and for your needs to be met and to be your safe space, to be your number one person. We can do that in a variety of different ways, whether it's simply saying those words when we're asking him what's going on inside, or being the one to physically initiate intimacy with our husband, or simply being the one to pave the way and being vulnerable first. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, I hope this video was helpful for you today. If it was, will you let me know in the comments below? I would love to hear which tip was actually helpful for you today. And if you are new here and you haven't clicked subscribe, but you would love to hear more videos and see more videos like this, where we talk about the real rawness of life and relationships and biblical godly womanhood, then click subscribe. And like always, ladies and gentlemen, have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you all next time.